So what's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make some sense out of nonsense. And I did a video today where I was in search of racism. I mean, I risked my own life, after hearing all of the fear mongering from the left about how much racism is out there and how disenfranchised black people and minorities are. And then, of course, they just paint this broad brush of people of color. So now everybody can get thrown in, anything they don't like that comes from, say, upper class or a rich white person, as they like to put it, the elites, the ones that apparently are suffering from white privilege. Those people, any decisions they make that goes against the Democratic Party that happens to impact anybody that is not of Anglo-Saxon descent, 100% pure, uncut Caucasian, right off the Caucasian tree, then all they say is, well, you know what? This is offensive and discriminatory towards people of color. Now, we've been hearing this for the last 2.5 years, more so than we've been hearing it down throughout the last 30 or 40 years. It's increased, okay? It's starting to pick up when it comes to the accusations of racism to the degree where I say, you know what? Let me do some exploring. Let me see if the narratives that come out of the Democratic Party and out of the funky, crooked, nasty, dirty liberal media is true. Because if you listen to them, your own eyes, your own ears, and your own brain will forget what you see on your daily walk to work, drive to work, going in the store, going to the movies. You will start to suspend your reality and buy into their matrix that they've created through just imputing all of this garbage in your head every time you turn on CNN, MSNBC, and so on and so forth. So I said, you know what? I got to get to the bottom of this, because if there's this boogeyman out there, if we've regressed and went back to the 1900s, I'm talking early ones too, like 1901, maybe even 1870, something like that. If we regress that much, I need to be aware of this. Maybe I'm just not aware of it. Maybe I'm the only black guy just walking around saying, what are y'all talking about? I don't see all of this. Because, see, a lot of black people that I talk to, Trump's a racist, all of his supporters are racist. That would mean almost half of America is full-blown racist and white nationalists. Now, let's logically think about this. That means you would be encountering racism on a mega scale. That means that you should encounter racism every single day as a minority in the United States. So I had to search today to make sure that this claim has some validity to it. And as you watch the video entitled Kevin on Location in Search of Racism Part 2, you will see that I managed to successfully go to Walmart, get out of my car, unmolested by white people. Nobody yelled riding past the car, hey, you, bleep, bleep, and telling me to go back to Africa. Nobody said, you know what, let's get him. And nobody, when I went to get a sip of water, said, what you doing drinking out our water, boy? Go on to the back. Get now, go on, get. Nobody did that to me. No, I managed to go into Walmart, do what I had to do, and left. Nothing happened to me. And you know what? I can't recall the last time. No, you know what? Maybe back in 1990, somebody yelled a racial slur while driving past me. That's the only time I've experienced this direct outward display of racism. And even then, it was 3 of them in their car, and it was only one of me. And they didn't even have the guts to pull over and say, get out the car, you blank, blank, blank. They just yelled it as they were going by because, I don't look like I'm sorry. I don't want to be that guy that's big for nothing, can't scrap. And I think they picked up on that and said, it's probably safer to yell out a racial slur while driving by. We don't want real encounters. So even then, they were cowards. But since then, I haven't encountered any of that. But according to CNN, MSNBC, all of those places, then we should be stepping in it every time we get out of our cars. We should be stepping over racism to going to work. We should be encountering this type of racism every single day. So I said, I got to go find racism. And you know where I found it? I didn't find it at Walmart. No, I didn't find it at any of those places. I ended up finding it in the oddest place. Check this out. Little montage from Tucker.
Thank you very much.
Look at this.
We remember that the longest-serving Democrat, longest-serving senator, really, in American history was a former KKK recruiter called Robert Byrd.
What?
When Byrd, who was from West Virginia, died...
Wait a minute. Is this the same Robert Byrd that was Hillary Clinton's mentor? Scratching my head about that. That is crazy. How could he be her mentor? And he was one of the founders of the Ku Klux Klan. Yeah, I said the same thing. Gizmo was like, how? So how could he be her mentor? And she's the champion for women and black people and civil rights and all that stuff. But yet he was her mentor. And so oddly, minorities voted for her because they suffer from short-term memories. They forgot that they had a relationship. Apparently, that was just, they forgave all that. It was so long ago. I mean, it doesn't count because it was a long time ago. And the media doesn't bring it back up, you know. So therefore, we're just going to forget that it ever happened. Yeah. But that's interesting. We found a little bit of racism. But hey, you know what, though? That was a long time ago. Let's see if racism still exists right now. Go ahead, Tucker.
In 2010, then President Barack Obama heaped praise on his memory.
What?
Ralph Northam, by contrast, does not occupy an essential Senate seat in a battleground state. He could be replaced tomorrow by an even more reliable lieutenant governor. Therefore, Democrats are demanding that he resign immediately. Watch later.
Yeah.
He needs to resign immediately to stop the pain in Virginia and, frankly, around the nation.
I think that the governor should resign.
He's lost the authority to govern. He has to resign.
I think he should resign now.
Should he resign?
Yes, he should step down and start his road to redemption.
He should resign. So disturbing, so racist. There's no place for racism in our government.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know, it sounds like they're pretty serious about this. They're talking about he should resign. I mean, do you think it's sincere? Do you think it's because they really believe that this man is a racist and racism is the #1 threat to America? I don't think they really believe that. They're just doing what they're supposed to do because they're the party that always accuses everybody else of being what? Racist, right? So how can they make these claims without overcompensating to go after this guy that now has been caught with some racist photos back in the 80s or whatever. So now all of a sudden, this guy is on the chopping block for the Democratic Party too. So now they got to go after him like they're dead serious, even though it's measured. It's a measured reaction. He should resign. I mean, yeah, he definitely should. There's no place for racism. But there's no call for people doxing him. There's no roundup of Antifa to go down to the governor's mansion and storm the doors. There's no protesters that magically pop up out of nowhere all the time when a Republican is accused of anything. None of that stuff. There's no straight up accusation of the whole party of the Democrats being accused of being the party of racism based off of this one guy. Why aren't they doing that? Gizmo, stop chewing on stuff. I got a puppy in here and he got the chewies. Stop it. No. Gizmo, you're gonna make me get caught for puppy abuse on video. No. That's it. You know what? Did you get, hopefully I wasn't recording that when I threw my towel. Did y'all catch that? I thought I deleted that part. Anyway, I'm back. Just in case I didn't delete it, Peter, if you're watching, don't come at me. Don't surround my job and demand me to quit for just throwing a towel at the puppy because he was chewing on the carpet. Okay, he's fine. He's fine. I would show you him, but he's still chewing on the carpet. No, Gizmo, bad dog. Just like bad Democrats. So let's get back to our pursuit of racism and finding out where it really lies. Okay, check this out.
Used to be such a placid state. Trace, thanks very much. Well, looking back on it all, maybe the greatest irony of Ralph Northam's political career is that he got elected governor by claiming the other guy was a racist. Yeah. Race was not an integral or obvious part of the gubernatorial campaign, but Northam and his allies injected it anyway in an effort to terrify and motivate voters. They succeeded in the ugliest possible way. Here's one example. Watch this ad.
Yes, please.
Is this what Donald Trump and Ed Gillespie mean by the American dream?
Well, what you just saw was libel. Whatever else he was, Ed Gillespie was not a bigot. He was a corporate lobbyist from New Jersey who once encouraged the Republican Party to increase non-white immigration into the country. Yeah. But for the purposes of the Northern campaign, Gillespie had to be a racist, not because he really was, but because calling him one works. It always works, and that's why they're still saying it. Watch it.
So now, I think we're getting to the root of where all the racism lies. It lies in the minds and campaign strategies of the Democratic Party, and also in some of their past and present behavior. But remember, unless you convince people that racism is alive and rampant today, most people don't wake up thinking about racism. So to keep it in their frontal lobe, you have to reiterate this all the time. To win a campaign, they have to use something besides politics, besides policies, strategies, the solutions. No, those things get in the way. What they use is nothing but racism. That's what it just worked. So even if they have some racism in their past, they don't care. They don't care. What they care about is convincing our public that racism is on the rise and is back in full effect. See, this is where the racism really lies. It doesn't lie within the average American to wake up and say, I'm about to go out today and be racist. Or the average black person that wakes up and the first thought on their mind is, I might get taken away in some pickup today and lynched. I don't think that is in our frontal lobes right now, but it's coming out of CNN, MSNBC, and this guy, the same guy who got caught in blackface, ran an ad showing little kids running from a white man in a pickup, and then they wake up scared, and is this what you want, Donald Trump's America, all of that stuff. That right there is more racist than accusing people of being racist. You throw an ad out like that, you paint this picture, and all the kids watching and people of color, notice there was no white kids running, huh? There, all the kids, people of color, that's the image that they get of America and what's going on around the country. What that does is it plants the seed of what? Racism. So I think we're finding out where the racism lies and where it's coming from. Let's look at one more clip.
The robots over at MSNBC explain that blackface and a Klan hood on a Democratic governor's yearbook page are actually, despite what you may think, the product of Republican sin. It's Trump's fault. Watch.
When did blackface become a thing again? Why does it seem as if blackface is all of a sudden front and center in America again? What's happening?
I think it has something to do with what Donald Trump has unleashed. It has something to do with what's the reservoir that's underneath our politics that can always be activated at any moment.
Did you hear that? This guy who took this picture 20, 30 years ago, it's a product of what Donald Trump has unleashed. Instead of dealing with this guy, one of their own, this man just belittled all of our intelligence. Didn't give no data. He just said what Donald Trump has released, and it's just an undertone, always there, waiting to surface. So now what does he do? He creates the image in every American's mind that every white person you encounter, you need to be suspicious. And they're all racist sleeper cells. That's what they are. The right conditions could bring out the racism. You know what brings out the racism? MSNBC, CNN, watching them every single day, hearing about this. First of all, if I was a white person, I tell you right now, I would start getting so mad at being accused of being something that I'm not, that it might create me to be something that I'm not. Meaning this, if all I hear is knuckleheads like this dude, and people like Don Lemon, and people like Chris Comehead, and all of the people that's on the Democratic Party, and they're always talking about racism, white men, white men, and I'm a white man, at some point I might feel like I'm being attacked. And I'm here in my mind thinking, well, I mean, I'm not a racist, but they keep accusing me of being one and attacking me. You know, it don't take much to get somebody mad and feel like now we're under attack. So maybe we need to fight back against all of these accusations. Give them something to think about. See, I would be upset, just as I am if they start saying all black people do this, all black people do that, that brings up animosity, aggression, and an attitude towards the system. So the real perpetrators of racism is MSNBC, CNN, the Democratic Party, who constantly feeds people this stuff. And what does that do? Divide us. Yeah, that's right. So now you might get a couple skinheads and white nationalists be like, you know what? Well, darn it, we're under attack. Our country's under attack. They keep, every day they're getting up talking about white men is the enemy of America. And then if I'm black, I'm watching this stuff like, every day we under attack. Man, shoot, racism on the rise again. Man, it's all over the place. But yet at the same time, people get up, go out about their everyday business and not see the narratives that they're painting. I mean, think about this. He took that picture 30 years ago, okay? Right now, we don't see a lot of that going on. He just got busted and they backdated his racism, okay? But we ain't heard even nothing about this guy concerning racism until, what, a couple days ago. So even in the heart of well, I would assume this guy's probably either he's real insensitive and out of touch when he took that picture, or he probably had some racism in his heart back then. But nonetheless, this isn't a national epidemic, and it's not a problem unless it's a problem. And see, this is the problem. They make it a problem because what they do is they use this for political capital, for political gain. They use it so that people out there will live under fear about this racism sitting underneath, bubbling, simmering, and ready to surface at any moment. And the reason they make you think that is because anytime they need to pull the racist card, they can just reach down in the muck and the mire because there's this big unseen entity of racism somewhere. Yeah, reach down, pull some of it out, and sprinkle it on you. And a lot of people buy it. Yup, racism, even though I'm not experiencing this every day, but I believe MSNBC, CNN, and all of them. So you want to find out where racism really lies? Turn on CNN. Turn on MSNBC. Listen to a Democratic politician give any type of speech, and within 5 minutes, you'll hear racism, inequality, acceptance, all of these things that they try to say that the other party does not embrace. And not us, though. We're the champions of these things, but they're racist, they're this and that. Yeah, but what about your policies? See, you're asking questions to make me have to think stuff. I don't want to think stuff. I just need to tell you, you're a victim of racism. So yeah, I found it, ladies and gentlemen. In my long, hard search, I found out where the racism lies. Yep, in the liberal media and the Democrats. God bless you. Find me every Wednesday night. We're going to be talking about this garbage tomorrow. Or is that the next day? Yeah, Wednesday. Okay, I get my days mixed up sometimes. Also, check me out 7:30 live on YouTube on Wednesdays. Also, I go live on my radio blog talk show. Links are in the bottom. Check out Extreme Tees. The link is in the bottom. If you click on the link, you can actually peruse through the store online and put my name in the promo code, Kevin, and you'll get 20% off. If you want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, feel free to do that as well. And don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and also the notification button. All right, God bless you. See you next time in Kevin's Corner.